Coming up on Tech Garage, we're going to talk keep it or crush it. Now, last week we decided we're going to keep this Ford F-250. It was mechanically sound, just need a little bit of gussying up. And we're going to do just that on this episode, so stay tuned, buckle up.
Welcome to Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com. Well, Dave hit the nail right on the head. We're going to gussy up our Ford F-250, and good place to start is the headlights. Man, that makes a big difference, and the taillights. That's going to change this truck dramatically.
It's amazing what a difference that makes with just taillights and headlights. You have a vehicle that looks run down, clearly been neglected, or so it looks, but as soon as you change that, it makes a big difference, both front and back. And of course, it's a safety thing as well. It's not just cosmetic. Folks can see you better, and you'll be able to see better as your lights are going to project farther down the road.
Yeah, and it made a big difference already. We had Benjamin, our lead tech. He was back there, and he went ahead and did the tail lights, and it was super easy. There was 4 screws. He took those screws out. Once he got those screws out, he just took the bulbs out, and then he went and interchanged the assembly to the new one, put the new bulb in, put the 4 screws back in, and bam, look at the difference. I mean, you can see it sitting there on the table. That's a huge difference with the lights. I mean, the front alone, big difference as well. You can see it right here. Now, this was just as easy. To take the grill out, there was a couple of clips behind it. We popped the clips out, and then there were 2 screws behind the headlight. We got those out, and we worked on the 3 right here on the front. Took it out, popped the new one in. Dave, I see you got yours about 90% of the way done.
Yep, just a little bit to do here, and I wanted to show you this while you finished doing that, John. We saw the tail lights next to each other, the before and after, and saw what a difference that was. Just take a look. I mean, these headlights, the headlights come with a UV protective coating on there, and over time, the sun beats on that and beats on that, and you end up with something that looks like this when it started new, just like that. There's a lot of things out there. There are kits to clean these up. Some folks have tried toothpaste. They say that works. Aluminum polish is one that I've heard from a lot of automotive guys. Yes, that will do the job, and that'll clean these up. But by the time you do that, you'll have to do it again a few months later, and a few months later, you might as well just buy a new one. They don't cost that much. RockAuto.com has what you need.
Yeah, and speaking of RockAuto.com, I mean, the headlights is a great start, Dave. But man, I'd like to throw some accessories on here. Why don't you check in with Tom and see what you can find?
You got it. Tom's right over there.
And I'll go ahead and finish up the grill. And that was fairly simple. You can see on the back here, I told you earlier, we just popped these tabs out right here. Well, to put it back in, you just reverse the procedure. Here's the actual receivers for them. So you just take the grill, pop it in the little clips right there. A little shot in the hand. Bam, bam, lock it in. And boy, look at that. You can actually see that difference just at the grill made in the front end. That's a huge change there. Can't wait to see what RockAuto.com has when it comes to accessories. Let's check in with Tom and Dave.
Well, Tom, I love carrying a door panel around because whenever I get hot, I just roll the window down. I get nice and cool, get the breeze going. Actually, this is a door panel, just one example of the accessories they have on RockAuto.com. Headlights, and just things to make your vehicle look better and little things to trim it out. How easy is it to find different accessories for specific vehicles on RockAuto.com?
Yeah, we have door panels and headlamp assemblies to restore the vehicle the way it was from the factory, and then if you want to keep going and customize it for yourself, you just click on the accessories category, and there's be a whole list, especially for something like a truck. We have all sorts of hoop steps and mats for the pickup truck bed, all sorts of fun stuff.
And I think a lot of people, when they think of RockAuto.com, it's all the parts your car will ever need, so they start thinking about maintenance items and that sort of thing. Accessories, though, is such a wide array. What are some of the more popular items you have?
All sorts of trailer hitches, and then bike racks that will go into the trailer hitch. Bed liners, like I mentioned. All sorts of fun stuff for trucks.
And again, it's not just the accessories, we're talking parts. So what are folks ordering you find the most on RockAuto.com?
Suspension and brakes are the 2 big categories for any vehicle, and it's especially a good match for Rock Auto because you plan that project. It's like, okay, I need to redo my brakes, and you need to redo my suspension, and you can, you often find kits ready to go, get all your brakes with one part number from us.
And Rock Auto is a great way to do that because if you're doing the brakes, you want to get some of the ancillary stuff to go with it, or while you're going to have it up on a lift, there's other things you can do as well. So you can get it all done in one swell foop with RockAuto.com. Yeah, now, this truck that we'll work on, this F-250, is 35 years old, and you guys have parts going back to there. How far back does RockAuto.com's catalog go?
Well, that's a Ford truck, so let's go back for Ford Go back to 1909.
1909.
Yeah. You can get some new wheel bearings for your Model T.
No kidding. Well, it's amazing. RockAuto.com has all the parts your car will ever need. Whether you've got a 1909 Model T or you got a brand new vehicle, you can bet they have it. Find them again at RockAuto.com. You can find more Tech Garage presented by RockAuto.com when we come back. Tech Garage presented by RockAuto.com is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need.
Well, welcome back to Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com. I'm just hanging out under an F-250, and I'm super excited, Dave, to see what you and Tom found, man. We're talking about tonneau covers, bed rails, and voila.
The hoop steps, these are fantastic. You see a lot of trucks that have the running boards, lots of chrome alongside the truck, and it works great when you have a big cab. Just a single cab on this truck, though, and these hoop steps are going to be the perfect thing. No chrome, and it's just a little bit of space, and they're super simple to install.
Man, they are super simple to install. Matter of fact, we can walk you right through it. I actually have these clips right here, and these clips actually have a square hole. Dave, can you put a square peg in a square hole?
I can, and it'll lock in place because there's a square base on the pinhead bolt.
So if you get that in like that, we already drilled the holes, and you know, when we drilled the holes, we were careful, but you may have a sill plate up there which would cover this. This truck doesn't, but that's important too, right, Dave?
You got it. If you have one of those sill plates, especially if you have the original, you want to keep that. Take your time pulling it off. It could be plastic, could be a real lightweight steel or aluminum. And you want to make sure you keep that in good shape. You can put it back on and it trims the vehicle out really nicely. In this case, we don't have one, so we didn't have to worry about that.
No, just reach up there and pop it through. And if you pop yours through, and then here's the bracket, so pretty cool. You got this side that's beveled right here. So on the beveled side, what you want to do is you want to run that into the frame and lock it up, and then you're going to go through the bolt you just put up there. So we'll put that up first, put it up, and then I kind of hold it with my thumb. They gave you a big old fender washer here, and then we'll put that up. The fender washer will hold it, and then I'm going to go get the nut. Got a little nut right here, and then what we'll do is we'll just thread that on now. We'll thread it on by hand. We don't need to get a ratchet yet because we have a tapping screw that's going to go to the other side that's just going through the frame a little bit, but not up through the whole roll pan of the truck. So I'm going to get that square. Once I get that square, I'll go ahead, Dave, and I'll switch this bit over so we can run the little self-tapping screw in there. Already drilled the holes. Looking pretty good there, Dave?
Well, looking all right, except I've got to do this left-handed, so you had the advantage on me there.
Oh, advantage on here. Here comes the excuses. Here we go. All right, I'll go ahead and just snug this up. I don't want to over-tighten it, but we'll keep them all loose. You got yours?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. You got your little screw there.
Yeah,
there you go. I'll give you the drill.
Cool.
You can get started on that one. Now, I'll show you down here what we actually did. So on the hoop step, this bracket went to the inside right there. When it went to the inside, now we're going to take these bolts and we're going to run them through. We're going to come from the outside and run them through like that. Once we get them all the way through, we can go ahead and put a locking nut on this side, and then, man, that's going to be it too. One on each side, and we should be able to pop the hoop step right in there, Dave. So got yours snugged up pretty good. Let's go ahead. We can tighten that front one now just a hair. Put your hand up there and we'll snug it up. All right. Oh yeah, that plate's holding tight. You can give it a good one. That back screw's holding us nice. All right, so our bracket is good and secure. Screw's good and secure. Let's look at the beautiful hoop step. I'll come in this way. Dave, I'll hold yours kind of loose. I'll keep my side out so you can manipulate yours. Go ahead and get your bolt.
You got it. I like these hoop steps. They're from Carr, from RockAuto.com, and they've got all kinds of brand names. You name it, Rock Auto's got it.
There you
All
go.
right, that one's in.
Okay, go ahead and get your locking nut and get that started and see if it, man, boy, that couldn't went any easier, Dave. Gotta love when a product all comes together. That's what good engineering does when they put it together like that.
No doubt, makes it simple.
Super easy and simple. And go ahead and put your inside locking nuts on and get the second one on here. And man, look at that.
That's great. Without even tightening it down, that thing, you can tell it's fitting perfectly.
Phenomenal. I need a little one here. All right, and then we'll just take the bolts, and when we, don't be afraid to go ahead and cinch down on this. I know they're little bolts, but the deal is also, you have that brackets a little bit spread apart, so we want to make sure we pull it in. You don't want any rattles or noises on this thing, and you want to make sure it's secure. Wow.
These steps are perfect because you get these trucks are just a little bit high, and you got to heave yourself up in there, especially if you got someone older maybe that wants to get into the truck. Hoop steps are the perfect solution.
Man, look at that, Dave. Wow, that thing is absolutely gorgeous. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and get this cinched up. We'll get it finished up, and we'll drop the truck down, Dave. We'll put it to the back over there a little bit, get everybody a good look at those bed rails and that tonneau cover. You guys don't want to miss that. So stick around. There's plenty more Tech Garage brought to you by rockauto.com. Well, welcome back to Tech Garage, presented by rockauto.com. Well, we got our lead technician, Benjamin, scooting around in the truck on the Magic Creeper. And Dave, I'm grateful for that because my knees can't take it anymore.
I feel the same way, John. We're working as hard as we can right now. I love this.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, to get to this point, let me bring you up to speed. We got these bed rails here, and they're gorgeous. They're from rockauto.com as well. And you know, they were real easy to put on. We just took some alcohol wipes, went around the sides, cleaned off the bed, made sure that it was real good on the top. Then it was peel and stick. I mean, that easy. Just made sure we lined it up right, pushed down on them, gave them good pressure all the way around.
Yeah, and a lot of folks freak out when they know it's just tape holding something on, but there are some major manufacturers that do auto trim out there and windshields and that sort of thing, and all the trim is held on by tape, and it works great.
Yeah, we turned our attention to the tailgate then. It was the same process, just a matter of peeling the tape, wiping it down with the alcohol wipes, making sure there was no grease or debris on there. We pushed the tailgate down, and man, the bed rails look great. But Dave, it's tonneau cover time.
Yeah, and the hoop steps look awesome. And this is really going to finish off the look of the exterior here, John, before we get to the interior.
Absolutely. I'll let you get yours in first, and then I'll just pull this back a hair. You got this bracket underneath. Dave, not only finish it off, I mean, this is going to protect stuff in the back, which is real nice. If you need to do that, you just simply go ahead and put it down. Once we roll it out, this thing's going to look sharp, man.
Tonneau covers are great because they protect your valuables. Folks don't know what you have with you, and you can lock a lot of them and keep your stuff safe. You keep it mostly safe from the water. Tonneau covers never guarantee that they're completely watertight, but it's a nice way to protect your gear and keep everything safe in the back of the truck for sure. And it really looks great too.
Yeah.
With one like this, I really like it because it rolls up. It's not cumbersome. It doesn't fold, and it's a lot of them that are hinged. They look like a great idea until you own one, and you can't get a lot of big stuff in there. And removing it is a two-person job. It really is a big hassle. So I love this model right here.
Yeah, me too. As far as the installation, you know, once again, you're not drilling into your bed. You're not doing any damage. You can remove it from truck to truck. It's for a standard-sized bed. It's got the clamps in there. Benjamin put on 1, 2, 3. Very, very secure. Once you bolt yours up in the top there, that stays there, and then you can roll it up, like you said, which is really cool. You got 2 little clips right here, Dave. So if you grab those, unclip this. Yeah. Let me get my clip. There we go.
There you go.
And then bam, bam. The Velcro's on the side, which is sealing it up. Uh-oh, it's looking pretty good already. What do you think?
This is fantastic. Right out of the box, like no effort, no drilling, which is great.
Yep, awesome. And then the last one just comes down and latches.
Yeah, tight as a drum.
Wow.
You just push the Velcro down and seal that thing up.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, we'll go down, run that down. Look at, man, it couldn't be any easier than that.
Couldn't look any better either.
Awesome. Let's close this and, man, look at that. Wow.
I think we just doubled the value of this truck.
Ooh, big time. You ain't seen nothing yet. We have to get to the interior, and we're going to really transform this truck. Stick around. There's plenty more Tech Garage brought to you by rockauto.com.
Tech Garage, presented by rockauto.com, is brought to you by rockauto.com. All the parts your car will ever need.
Well, welcome back to Tech Garage, presented by rockauto.com. Well, we got our Ford F-250 in the shop, and it is looking good.
It is fantastic.
What's going on, Dave? I said this thing's mechanically sound.
It is mechanically sound, but you said Ford pickup truck.
All right.
And that reminded me of an email that I saw in our inbox. By the way, you can email us at feedback@techgarage.tv. That's what Sam did. He lives in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and Sam was changing his spark plugs out, and when he pulled out the plugs, he noticed that in one of the spark plug holes there was some coolant. So he's wondering what the problem might be and what he has to do to fix it.
Yeah, shocker, Dave. I mean, 5.4 Sam probably across the board have a lot of issues with that, and most of the time time, you can look right under here. We'll pull this piece off and you can see this right here basically starts to deteriorate. The gasket blows out, or it actually starts etching the intake manifold right here. It's going to leak into the valley. It's going to pour coolant out every time. You know, rockauto.com, Dave, I just say get the new assembly, update it, be done with it.
And you said the magic word, assembly, right there. Rock Auto will sell you all the parts you need, all the bolts and everything you need to put the part on. You don't have to keep running back and forth to the auto parts store. Just one little click at rockauto.com, you get what you need.
Yep, that'll keep you hooked up, Sam. But hey, Dave, the interior, wow, what a transformation. And it couldn't be any easier, man. You know what it looked like, the old inside. Well, that was pretty rough. I mean, you had the floor. It's a 1987 pickup. It's a work truck. So you can see the floor, the doors, didn't even have the lower panels. The dash was pretty much done. The truck was done on the inside. This one, well, not so much. It looks great, man. And we started with the front seat bolts, super easy.
Yeah, the seat bolts, there's only 4 bolts holding down the entire bench seat. So once you got the front ones done, just 2 in the back. All you had to do was push the seat backs forward. That gave you access to those 2 bolts in the back, and they were able to lift the seat out of there.
Yeah, and Benjamin, he just scooted over on the other side. Josh kind of just wiggled that thing right out this side. It was heavy, put it on the ground, boom, no problem, onto the carpet.
Yep, and if you have old carpet, sometimes it's glued down, and that's kind of a hassle. You have to get an adhesive remover and muscle that carpet out of there. We were lucky enough that there was no carpet in this thing in the first place, so we were able to drop ours right in. No adhesive for this carpet from rockauto.com, by the way. This is going to stay put. It's form-fitting, and between the shape and the 4 seat bolts, this stuff's not going to go anywhere.
Boy, you know, and it looks brand new right then and there. So we put the seat in, went to the door panels, had a few screws, popped off the handle. Voila, ready for the new ones, Dave.
And now to the dash, which is my favorite piece on the whole truck. This is actually an overlay right here for the dash,
Yeah.
and it looks like a brand new dash.
I'll tell you what, Coverlay really nailed it with that piece. It does look new, but speaking of new, we got some cool technology on Garage Ed. I'm going to run over there. Hey, finish this one up.
All right, well, now all I have to do is really put floor mats in here, and that'll finish off the interior for us. Looking at the inside of this is incredible. All of this that we did would only take us about a weekend. If you have a buddy, it's going to be even quicker, and you can do everything with stuff you find at rockauto.com. What's going on over there at Garage Ed, guys?
Man, the transformation of that truck looks awesome. I can't believe it. Well, this week on Garage Ed, we've made it to the air duct system. It's kind of hard to see under the dash, so I spent a couple more hours taking this one out, but it's still kind of wonky, so let's look at the graphic.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah, you are a trooper, though. That's a heck of a job taking the actual air duct system out. Well, if you see the graphic right there, what does it do? Well, it directs the air. What kind of air? Well, it depends on where the temperature doors are set. You can see on the left side over there, you got your inlet and your blower motor. Then what that does, it actually puts the air either across the evaporator or the heater core. If you want cold, the evaporator is going to do the job. If you want hot, the heater core is going to do its job. Then it goes and it actually diverts to different vents. Where do you want the air to come out of? Now, you did rip one out of here, but there's different types, Josh. Let's talk about the different types of temperature doors.
Right, so to actuate those doors, we need a way to do it. We either have vacuum, we have mechanical linkage with a cable, and in most cases now, we have electronic actuators.
So to start with the vacuum actuated one, we actually have one right here. This is an old vacuum case, so vacuum source from the engine is coming in here, goes through these, and actually actuates the door. Now here's a cool tip for you. If you have your air conditioner stuck on defrost, that's usually the default mode, so you probably lost your source vacuum coming in and it went to defrost. That's safe, it keeps your windshield good. Now Josh, when we're dealing with these, we got 2 types of motors, and you know, the best way to explain them is once again, go to the graphic.
Yeah, check out this graphic. So if you look over here on the bottom left, you have 2 wires. Now what that means is your actuator motor is either going to go to full 1 position, the computer will reverse the polarity, and it can go to the other position. Now moving over to the right, you might have 3 to 5 wires, same concept, but now the computer's actually watching the position of the motor that it's in.
Now another tip for you, if you're dealing with these electronic actuators that actually move it either to 1 position or all the way around, these things are timed, so you want to go to the service manual, run them in the right position before you plug them in, or what's going to happen, you're going to snap them, and that could be a $50 or $60 actuator you want to break. Oh, now the device that saved a ton of marriages. Now, how did it do that? Well, this is the individual temperature control for the driver and the passenger. So what happens here is, you know, Dave, he wants to jack that thing down and get it as cold as it can be. Well, his wife and his family, not so much. So they run it up a heat over here. How does that work? Well, it's through the air duct system. They each have their own passage of air ducts. So if he wants heat, he's going to go ahead and run it through the actual heater core. If they want cold, they're going to put the cold over here. It's going to run it through the evaporator, and the case duct will distribute it to the right vents to either do the passenger or the driver. Well, speaking of driver, that truck transformation's about finished. Let's check in and see how it's coming along.
During the break in the Garage Ed segment, Benjamin got underneath the truck, wired up a new horn, and it sounds great. And it's an air horn, no less. John, man, this thing sounds great. It looks great. What an improvement from the way this truck originally looked.
What'd you say, Dave? Yeah, big improvement, man. From the headlights to the taillights, the tonneau cover, the hoop steps, and the interior. Man, this thing is a ginormous transformation. And our lead tech, Benjamin, well, he's fallen in love with it, man. We might be keeping these vehicles around here.
Yeah, between the minivan and this, they're probably staying here at Tech Garage.
Absolutely. Nothing more to do than just pop a top, maybe catch a ball.
Right, there it is.
Next thing you know, we'll just admire the work a little bit.
You got it. We're going to enjoy the rest of our weekend. We hope you do the same, and we're going to do this again next week. Same place, same time. In the meantime, also, you can email us your questions at feedback@techgarage.tv.
Yep, we're all over the place, social media. Make sure you stay with us, and we'll catch you next week for more Tech Garage presented by rockauto.com.
See ya.
Man, this thing's gorgeous.
I love it.
We could not do Tech Garage without production assistance from Chipola College in Marianna, Florida. Chipola was founded in 1947, and it was recently ranked among the top 3 community colleges in the United States.